Hi, Efrat. This is our second meeting. The first one is in Hebrew, so allow me, everyone, to introduce you to my dear friend, Efrat Steinlauf, who is not only a director, but is a theater creator. And I'm very excited to have here Efrat today because I can tell you that I have been an audience in 3 of her pieces, and they were amazing. One of them was live, and 2 of them were online. So, Efrat, please introduce yourself to
Thank
our
you.
listeners.
Thank you. And it's a real pleasure to be here and to talk with you. So I'm a theater director and creator, and I work in a unique sort of way that is called device theater. And this way means that I recruit or assemble people with the same interests, and we explore, research, and combine together the show. Usually a performance. Usually we work in the line between presence and reality, and show and art, and we just explore this thin line between them. And I have a BEd and MFA in theater after I did already a BA and MBA in business, and I worked in it. So, and I'm an independent creator and director for like 15 years with lots of shows and plays. Some of them I directed conventionally, and sometimes and some of them I've done in this process of device theater.
Excellent. So, could you just explain to me, when you say device theater, what is the meaning of it literally? I mean, why is it called device theater?
Because you start with an idea and then you create it from scratch. You don't have a play before. You gather the people, and then you do the whole creative process together until it becomes like a show or a performance. And so this is the name of this process.
So the whole work is being created by you
Together.
and by the group.
Yeah.
And it's very
I'm
hard
the
to...
initiator, but they all participate and also part of the process.
So all of you own the piece will be owned together by the team.
Yeah.
You know, I always ask from the intellectual property point of view. So yeah.
Sure.
So
I'm the initiator, so I'm the owner of the idea and of the whole project as a manager or initiator, but they
so it
all
is
have part of it.
so it is kind of what I like to say, it's kind of a
Collective.
whole, it's a piece of work that has a lot of patches inside of it of IP, because, and you know, each one of you knows what they brought inside, and you also decide who owns what. And
I'm not sure. We never really had to deal with who owns what, because it becomes one whole process, and usually
it can't be done without, I mean, it's not a show that you will do on your own with a different team, right? Because the show
will be different. It will be different. Sometimes, like in Show of Hands, which is Rak Be'atzbah, we call it Show of Hands in Hebrew.
One of the shows,
yeah, one of the shows. We do have substitutes, like because it's a show about the educational system, and we have like teachers, so we have substitute teachers, and so other people can jump inside and people can leave. But in 1948, which is the newest piece, we can't, because the show is based on us and some of the facts are real. So maybe we'll
personal
go and
story.
Yeah.
So what I'm curious about, because as you know, because you were, as a friend, you were one of my first interviewees on my platform. I started this, the trigger was Corona. I really wanted to keep on meeting people, and I thought, wow, it's a great thing to do. So I'm curious, is the first time that you ever had a show online. Is this triggered by Corona, or is it something you were thinking about before?
Never thought of it before. It's it's really because of the Corona. And what happened is that we had a show that ran for 3 years that is called Show of Hands, which is like a simulation of the education system. The people come to a school, to a real class in the evening, have a curriculum, yeah, like
Yeah.
schedule a curriculum, and they go through 8 different classes, and we are teachers that come in and teach like literature and theater and mathematics, and we ask questions about what it is to be part of a nation, what is the process of building a national identity through the educational system. And we asked a question, especially in Israel, about the connection between the army and the education and high school. And so it is very political, and the public or the crowd is participating, and they get the role of being students. So they have an active role inside the show.
Yeah.
And when Corona started, we had like a show 5 days before everything shut down. And we saw an invitation to be part of a festival that is online. And I thought, wow, that's a great idea. All the education system have gone online and is occurring through the Zoom. Yeah,
all over the world, by the way.
All
over the world.
So us as a show that speaks about the educational system and that investigate or explore the political status or the things that are being in reality in the political field, we have to go online. And so we made a shorter version that will go on Zoom, and we started exploring the Zoom as an artistic or theatrical mean or tool.
Yeah.
And we understood that we can really play with it. It became a creative playground for us.
I have to say that I was in your audience in that show.
Yeah. Right.
And
what was your experience?
I have to recommend it to everyone. The experience had so many new things that are part of the experience. First of all, you're used to watching a movie or any kind of YouTube content when you're alone, and you're used to doing Zoom. By the time I came to you, you're used to doing Zoom for business but to go to the theater online, that was a first. And I found myself, doing my hair, being ready, because I said, wow, I'm going to a show. Then there was really, I felt, and I really want to project it to you, I felt the excitement that it was, wow, because there was a curfew, I think, when the last show that I came to, and we're going into one tonight also, actually. Israel is going into its third, right?
Yeah, third.
And I remember the feeling, just like the feeling that it gives you with clients. I said, oh my God, in culture also, it opens up windows. It gives you wings to fly above this virus and everything. And I'm going to be in a cultural thing. So that was great. And last but not least, and it has to do with your specific show. And as Efrat explained, if you would go to it, I recommend, then it's a very personal show. It means that the audience is part of the show. So you're being put on, on the spot, because you're asked, what is your name, please? And in that show that Efrat had, it was about students. So all of a sudden I was a high school student. I had to be quiet. I couldn't turn off my camera because they asked me if I did my homework. It was so cool. So, kudos to you. It was really amazing. Yeah.
Because the people that go in, they are asked to be part of the show, and it's engaging, and it is really it doesn't ignore the audience. It gives him an active part. So you have to be part of the show. And actually, there's no there is a difference because we come with the knowledge as teachers, but we play a role in this role playing of being students and teachers, and the audience is given the role of being the student, so he can decide what kind of student he wants to be, an obedient one, a naughty one, someone who talks back, which part, and we ask the audience to be with cameras on and to be with names, and we know the name, so we can act as if we know the person in advance.
We're a bit stuck, but it's okay. I'll wait for you to come back on. Can you hear me? The picture is a bit stuck. I'm sorry. One sec. Are you still there? I got you back.
I'm still there. Yeah. So I said that it creates a sort of intimacy.
Yes.
That allows us to look inside the houses, to bring you into our houses. Some of the situations that we create are very intimate. For example, in one of the teachers' houses, the bathroom door is open, and her husband or her girlfriend comes in and uses the bathroom, and all the audience. So it's intentional, but some of the things are not intentional, and they become part of the show because the misperformance becomes part of the performance, as it is in reality. When we really used some of our personal knowledge of how it is done in reality as mothers, as teachers. Some of us teach, and we saw in the news and everywhere in the social media how it is done in real life, and we brought it into the show. And so we made adjustments. We really shortened it because it was in real life, it was too long, and we picked all the right classes, or the classes that can be transformed into the Zoom. And also we made some adjustment to Corona times, because the show, again, I was disconnected.
No, you're here.
Are we here? Oh, okay. I thought. And so we relate to the Corona, and we respond to it, and we make it very present, and each time the show is changed a bit, because we have to do the adjustments all the time to reality, because reality changes, and the show is really responsive to what happens outside the show.
What makes the people more engaged.
Yeah, and the people have two roles, actually. They have to interpret to make an interpretation of what the language of the show, and to understand the codes of the show. So they have an active role in that, to understand where did they come to, what is happening, what is their part, and also they choose if to participate or not. And we do activate obedience as a mean in the show, and it's really interesting.
So this is oh, I think you're getting feedback from my voice. Do you hear it? No, not anymore. So I wanted to ask, so again, this is show of hands, you call it? Mm-hmm. So this is the one show. Now, if I can take you and transcend above this specific show, I'd like you to try and tell us, what do you feel are the tools, the theatrical tools, because you are a theater creator, that you can point out to us that you feel that you have created for the adaptation from physical to online theater?
So first of all, we create a space that has rules, or has codes of behavior. And because theater is a communicational playground, and also the Zoom, so we make it a fake but real format. We invite you to a class or a lesson that has special or a specific code of behavior, and we as theater creators can use these in order to also point at what is going on in real life, and that it is a play or a show also in real life.
Oh,
So
you
we use
wanted a point of reference? Is that it?
sort of, but it's something that we know from reality, and we can like play with it in the show. If you're a student, you know how a student reacts and how do you have to act as a student, so you become an actress in the show, because we give it
It's part of it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
see
part of
that
it.
that's such a good example of
Yeah.
it's really part of it. With me, it can be the dog that will bark, or but
My cat is sitting in front of
yeah, mine
behind
is
it.
at my feet. So I wanted to ask something, but does it always have to be like that, or
No, but
for
in our
engagement?
show, I think so, because if you give the audience a part or a role, then he's more engaged than being like not participating and doing lots of things, because in the Zoom you can lose your
Concentration.
yeah, concentration really easily, and you can do something else meanwhile watching something, and you're not there. But if you
So
have a
will it
part,
be
you're
correct to
engaged.
say, that these rules that you put upon the audience take the place of a seat in the theater that doesn't allow you to move? You have to be
Sort of.
quiet, and that's how you keep me quiet and attentive when I'm sitting in a physical show. And now you had to find a way to do the
Sure,
same to me in an online show.
sure, but it's beyond that,
Oh,
because also in the active or the live shows that we do, we give the audience a part, so he's not just distant and safe in his own play, in his own seat. He has to be active and
yeah,
to participate in the show. So it's that as well, and the Zoom allows it.
yeah.
And also we use the frame of the Zoom as a setting or a scenery of a show. If I'm being in my room, I can decide which angle the camera will be. If the camera moves, what is going to be in the frame? Is it my like
Your
my
bookshelf,
books?
yeah,
Yeah, my bookshelf, or if I'm putting a screen
green screen.
yeah, and we use it. In 1948 we start with a screen of the how do you
Virtual screen.
yeah, no, the virtual screen, yes, but of the event that we created an event that teaches how to teach 1948,
Yeah,
and the audience are teachers,
it's like
and
a
so
1948 is like a conference for teachers,
yeah, yeah,
while the first show that
it's for students.
is for
Yeah.
students. So
Mhm.
yesterday that I came to 1948, I was a teacher
Yeah.
in a conference, and in the other one I was a student. It's really interesting because you really make us actors and actresses, which is
It's true.
amazing.
And we refer to the audiences as teachers, and they sometimes they say, "I'm not a teacher," and then we explain at the end, and they understand it, that everyone in the audience and all of us are teachers, because we are like memory agents in our society. So we are teachers of history, teachers to everyone in the neighborhood or in
Do you
our
see
kids and
do you actually see people that don't understand the rules of the game, as you said, and because
no, but
I knew who I was supposed to be, and I played along with it, and I had fun. Do you have people that are a bit,
sometimes, yeah, they all of them get it in some point, but some of them it takes some time until they get it, and it's really interesting, because when they get it or when they understand what is going on here, it's like a revelation.
yeah,
And sometimes they say, um, a friend of one of the actresses told her after the show, I thought it's going to begin in a while. And I said to my husband, don't come yet because it hasn't started yet. And and at the end, I just realized that everything was a show, and she was just like mind blown.
Do you know that in the show where, in the first show where we were students, and I so agree with you, it's one of the things that makes it amazing that you keep asking, wait, did Efrat mean for it to be like this or not? And where it really happened to me was when the guy goes to the toilet when we were students in the first show, and I kept asking myself, because you don't know, you keep asking yourself as an audience, did they mean for it to happen? Because she is an actress living in her home. She is zooming from her home, and her
Yeah,
husband might have had to go to the toilet.
sure.
And you know,
And it's always also in 1948 all the time. After the show, people ask us, "Did you mean for that? Is it real? Was it?" And I think this is part of what we're trying to do in the show, to make people ask about reality, about what is real, what is, especially in 1948, that some of the questions are about what really happened. What is the truth? Is the truth matter? We talk
that's
about
very
narrative
challenging
based.
for the audience. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
because
wanted to ask you.
the audience is really sorry. The audience is really emotionally attached,
Yes.
and some of them react to it really. And yesterday was a mild show. We had in the past week, when we performed in the Akko festival, there was some really difficult
Extreme reaction.
extreme reactions. Yes, was
It is kind of fringe theater, so that's what you
yeah,
do. You want to make noise, and
yeah,
I wanted to ask you if what I felt was that between your first online show that was engaging and everything, but was all inside all of our homes, it was Zoom, and I saw that you evolved in the new show that I saw yesterday. Because would you like to explain? You had the films that show and how you
yeah,
decided to do it. I I'll give the feedback and then you'll explain what it is. It was so refreshing because from just being in Zoom, all of a sudden you took us with the same actors outside. So would you like to explain?
yeah. So we use all the tools of the Zoom. So some of it is share screen, and some of it is the chat, and we use it all as artistic
Tools.
tools. Yeah. And so we thought about a real conference, and in a conference you also show movies, and some of them are documentary and that we can share, and some of them we filmed ourselves, because these are things that we thought about. If we did the show live, we would use the audience to participate in some of the
Activities.
activities, and these are educational activities that we demonstrate. So we went to Akko, and also there was one more purpose to this thing, because we had to be in Akko for the live show, and we wanted to make presence to the absence of the
Of the
show
real
in
festival.
Akko. Yeah, of the real festival of Akko, of the places, and so we thought about ideas how to make the presence of Akko. So one of them was through Google Earth, that we went to the actual place we had to be in,
I
and we
forgot
went
how
to
you pronounce aqua in English.
Acre.
Acre.
Yeah, and so we went to Acre, and we filmed in the market, and we asked people, and we didn't know what they would say, but they gave us all the answers that we hoped for, that we couldn't dream of getting, and it was really, some of our show talks about the texts in the society, how the people, the different people and the different views and the different narratives work, and they just gave us all the texts, So we had an interview in the market, and we did some of the educational activities, and like with the balloons and and so we filmed ourselves doing it, so it gave another dimension to the show. And also
What
really
is
you
your
can
vision? What is your vision about the next step? I'll tell you what I was thinking. You know what
mm,
I was reminded of? The Rocky Horror Show. Do you remember?
okay, yeah,
Because you used to
sure.
go to the theater. And then I never went live. I think I went once, but they didn't actually pour water on you. Or for the our younger audience, go online, look at the Rocky Horror Show. That you'll see, it used to be interactive shows where you would watch the Rocky Horror movie, and
Hmm.
inside the theater, the fans themselves, it wasn't ever something that was done. Fans themselves would bring with them rice because there was a scene there from a wedding, so they would
The
throw it on the
wedding.
audience, and others would bring water because there was a scene with rain that they get all wet. So I was wondering if you were playing with more physical stuff and
Mm.
then activating it by each person having it for himself, like for example a smell, or and then you can send a list of things that you need to have in
Wow,
advance with
nice.
you. And
Interesting, interesting. We try to do it a bit in both of the shows by like making the audience more active by doing like this when you have to answer questions and make all the audience do the same movements, so it will be like more like theater. And we also ask the people to be on a gallery view so they will see everyone.
yeah,
And
that's
then
fun.
and then also we are in focus when we speak, and you can see several people in our dialogues because each one of us is in her home. We don't gather together. We each, and it has a meaning because if I'm from Tel Aviv and this is my also my role, my part in the play or in the show of being from Tel Aviv, left-sided politically, and one of the actresses lives in Koa, which is a settlement in the occupied territories, and that's her
She represents
identity.
another political side. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh, I lost you.
and
Yeah, now
Achik,
I have you.
Achik is Palestinian living in Nova Galil, which is the
Can you
country.
fix your speaker? I can't hear well.
Oh my God!
Now
I
good.
don't
Now
know
it's
how.
good.
Yeah.
Now it's
Okay.
good.
And one of the actresses live in Nazrat, but it's called now Nof Hagalil because it was changed a few months ago, and she really lives there. So it gets and Sahar from Aspia, which is a
You get
Druze
all the
village.
colors of the rainbow of the
And
Israeli
also
society.
people from different places in Israel. Some of the shows we had like someone from Beersheba. Also yesterday we had someone from Beersheba and someone from Geulim and some people from the settlements and some
Yeah.
people from Ford. And you could see because we asked people to say to write to change rename themselves their name and their location in Israel where they come from, so you can see the different locations. And that's by itself is very political and very performance-like. You
But
see the
if we're
performance.
leaving your specific show and I want to talk about your tools, then in real this engagement allows you much more than in a theater, because let's say you'll have in the Zoom at a given moment 200 people and they all have their name. It's harder for an actress to stand on stage and to see the little tags on
Yeah,
someone's, shirt,
sure,
but it's
sure,
easier to see under my window that it says my name.
sure.
And
And
also,
also
I
it
wanted to ask you
allows.
about the props. In real, I was asking you, you told me at the time, the props, because the whole use of props is different, right?
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah.
zooming. That's what I was
Hmm.
asking. Maybe the audience can bring its own props. So, do you want to say something about props on Zoom?
Yeah, that you can really zoom and see things from. If I drink, it gets like attention. Or in one of the classes in the show of hands, we do a physics um, class about the Newton law, and one of the actresses talks about the finjan, or the small cup that you drink coffee. And in Israel, there's a mix-up, and you think it's the like
Jug itself.
yeah, the jug itself. So it and she moves the camera and lets us see things in a like a film sort of way, so it can be really close. You can let people in, and also if I'm getting closer to the camera or you see her face, you can play with that. If it's intentional, you can make choices that will make a meaning.
So do you know what I just thought about, associative, of these movies that break the fourth wall, or the shows that break the
Yeah,
fourth wall? And I thought that until now, theater broke the fourth wall, but movies didn't. And what
sure.
you're doing with your,
Some of them, like House of Cards.
no, but they
Uh,
couldn't do it in real.
no, they couldn't do it in real.
It was as
As if. Yeah.
And what you're doing, that took me to the movie, Woody Allen movie,
Yeah.
the
The
purple,
purple
Shoshonat Kair
not
Asgula,
the
where the actress is sitting, his
and they can
ex,
communicate.
she sits in the theater and she watches this movie every day, and at the end she finds herself one day that she's actually part of the movie. And I thought to myself that your technique, that's what it's done
Sure,
to me, because I've been
sure.
going to so many shows and saying to myself, I wonder what it would be if I would stand on stage and answer the actor, actress. And here you really allow me to do that.
Yeah, it's not some of the participation in shows do it as if. I mean, they break the fourth wall, and uh, they call directly to the audience, but they don't allow audience to answer back or to talk back. And we take in account that the audience in every part of the show can say his thing, and even disrupt. And some of the shows we had some um, people who did it not as we wished, but we taking it into account, and we were prepared to everything that will happen in this kind of thing. And it's interesting because first, every show is different because of the audience that's come and the different people. And some of them say really harsh things. Some of them at the beginning, some of my actresses really took it personally. And then we said, we can't take it personally. It's a show, but we have to allow, we gave the opportunity to speak and to be active. So we have to deal with it and let it be. And it's interesting.
Interesting also that I realized that the live show that I went to see with you was also a show that
Yeah,
engaged the audience so
because,
much.
yeah,
So I think that I really recommend for anyone who can in Israel, and I'm sure that Efrat is going to break the territorial wall and offer Zooms already overseas, and anyone can make contact with her because it will be on our film. But I was thinking that you took this engaging kind of theater that you had and you brought it online, and you made
yeah.
it even easier to engage and get close. And you shared with me before that, let's say in the Shakespeare shows, and hundreds of years ago, people would go, but it wasn't the same. They were engaged as an audience, but not as part of the show, which is so special. Do you agree about what you did?
That's what interests me as a theater creator, to make participant shows, and to make it like to explore the option to be a real participant, and not by an idea but actual participation. And
Exactly.
also in the Zoom, the live chat is really active, because if you don't want to speak, or you don't want to be active in person or live, you can write. And some of the shows, the chat is like burning, and it's really
Amazing.
another channel that you can.
Would you like to share, because I know that you're also a trainer, would you like to share before we finish, if are you ready already to be training how to do this? Would you
Yeah,
like to
I've
share
done
how?
several. Yeah, I've done several lectures and also workshops of how to use the Zoom as an artistic playground or as theater um, playground or medium. Um, how um, how do I do it as in what way in to tell you what I'm doing, what are my insights, or I didn't understand the
Yeah,
question.
no, this is what I wanted you to say. I wanted you to share that you lecture about it
Yeah,
and that you can also train someone that comes
yeah,
to
in
you.
workshops I've done
Exactly.
workshops that
And is it
train
also
people.
possible, let's say if I came to you with a show, if I were a producer, I would say, we need your services now. You know, I'm sitting somewhere in Australia and we need your services to help us adapt to online with this specific show. So are these things that you guys do also?
It's possible. I just say that not every show is adaptable to
Oh,
Zoom. You have to decide whether it will work, because some of the shows, and that's what is going on a lot in these days, are being like filmed and then broadcast or in the online. Not every show can work or be
that's
adapted
not
to
real
Zoom. I think
adaptation, is it?
I I think I think you have to have a really good reason why to do it live, and why do you do it in Zoom. Because if you're disconnected and you do like a show that is not engaging the audience,
No
then why not
reason.
film it, not why not film it in a better way and have like all the equipment to do it really good, and
It's a
then
medium, you're saying it's a medium that doesn't fit everything.
every show. I think so. You can make an
Super,
adaptation, but you need to have really good reason why to do it on Zoom.
super.
And
So
it's yeah.
it's really amazing. So I really want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
I really want to invite all of you to look Efrat online, look for her name online. And I think you would like people to make contact if they have any questions
Sure. Yeah.
about your creation.
And come to the shows. We as long as the corona is here, we'll keep on performing online, and maybe even after, because it's an opportunity to meet people overseas and to let them, some of them, come to our shows, and then you can see really a variety of people from all around the world in one place, when they sit in different places, and the experience is really strong.
It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much.